What's up, guys? This is Daniel, Show of Force, taking you for a nice walk with me here. Time for a one-on-one video for a nice me and you time since most of my other videos were podcasts lately. So time to get back on the streets to catch up with me. We are here in Timișoara, Romania, still in my hometown, not in my hometown, in my home country actually. And today we're gonna do a nice short video. Well, I don't know about short actually, but we're gonna do a cool video for you guys about my recent heads up journey. As you guys may know, Doug Polk is challenging Dean Eggs. It's gonna be an epic battle. So when Doug Polk announced he's looking for some opponents, I was like, well, I don't know any heads up, by the way. I did not study heads up before, but this could be like a really cool, interesting challenge for me because always wanted to learn heads up, and this would be an extra sick incentive for me actually, because I would play against someone who's very good at heads up, and also, let's face it, it's a good opportunity to get some media, get some coverage, maybe make some content. So I was like, yeah, this is a personal challenge as well, because it's an opportunity for me to test my knowledge in poker. I'm very confident in my knowledge of poker in general. So of not only six max, but I was very confident about translating my skills to heads up. So I was like, let's see if we can do this. So I actually thought this would be a cool challenge. So I messaged Doug, and lucky for me, I guess, he picked me to play some matches with. Let's go into how I prepared for this. By the way, I hope you are appreciating the artistic scenery here and the production value. Um Definitely like these videos because it's gonna get definitely better from now on. And let's talk about how I prepared for this challenge, because it was the perspective I took and how I approach poker is I don't necessarily want to play like some standard lines that but play them very well. I like putting my opponents in tough situations and build my strategies in such a way, and that's how I do it with six max. If you played me or if you know my play style a bit, I always experiment with like some weird sizing, some weird strategies. So the way I saw it is I cannot play like every other heads up reg, because otherwise I'm gonna get smashed. My edge will come from building my own personalized strategies that will take him out of his comfort zone, but also that merge with my six max approach. Because let's face it, I'm not about to spend like it's gonna be 1 month. I don't have time to build something from scratch. I want to translate as many of the strategies I have and my approach to heads up, from six max to heads up. So that's kind of like how I viewed building up my strategies. I talked to some friends. I was talking. Shout out to Bit Too Easy. Shout out to Jared. BB is sick. And the student Sean, a good friend, about building my strategies. I had started with pre-flop actually. How do I build my pre-flop so it's kind of weird, kind of awkward for them? Um, I said I'm gonna play a mean open strategy where I can see bet the flop very frequently. I'm gonna three bet to some weird, crazy sizings like 14 BB. If they open 2.5, I'm gonna make it 14 BB, and I ran these pre-flop sims. So I started building my game from the very ground up to be different from like the standard heads up reg, because I thought that's where I can get some edge from. Otherwise, if we're gonna get and play toe to toe the same standard strategies, I'm not gonna have much of a chance, I thought. And by the way, I thought I knew heads up before because I was playing sometimes like four tables on 888, for example. I would play some heads up. So I thought like, hey, I know some heads up, right? But after actually beginning to properly study heads up and run tons of sims, I realized, well, actually I was very shit at heads up. I was like very bad. I was just like clicking buttons. I like just did not know what I was doing. So actually before I was like had no idea, had no control. But then now I'm actually building up my game. I'm actually doing things properly. So that was a big, big difference. Realizing someone who plays, by the way, if you play six max and you think you know heads up without actually having a big period of studying heads up, you're probably getting destroyed in heads up. to be honest. I started doing sims. I started like solving for every spot, and the cool thing about heads up, it doesn't take that long to solve, because you basically have 6 spots. You have like single raise spots, 3-bet pots, 4-bet pots, and like, yeah, for both in position and out of position. So it's not that crazy to map everything out. So that's what I did first of all. And as I got better at knowing my strategy, because I cannot play heads up if I don't know what I'm gonna do in 3-bet pots. I had no idea. So I first solved all the situations, and I studied them for a bit and practiced them, each one at a time. But I wanted to get in the streets very fast as well. So that's how I went into playing some Zoom. During all this time, by the way, I was talking to Doug, and he kind of stood me up. Well, people were not showing up to play him, and we had a date roughly at the beginning of the next month, and he just told me, he messaged me back on Twitter saying, "Oh yeah, sorry, uh, I have opponents now, and we cannot play." It's like, okay, that kind of sucks. I was preparing for this, um, but I mean, I might as well keep playing, and maybe I get the chance to play him. And actually, I did get the chance to play him for like a short, like session or two, um, before he started like playing like really high stakes. But I got to play him a bit, and we can see some of some hands and footage there as well. Actually, I'm gonna jump in and show you some nice, interesting action there. All right, back to the lab here. So the first hand here is against Doug Polk. We were playing some 3-6. Again, we played a couple of sessions, and I 3-bet to 14 BB, my signature huge sizing again. This is something where I wanted, like I said, I wanted to have a more like build a more unconventional game plan, stuff that he's not used to, so he's more likely to make mistakes and misadjust. So this is why I built some more like stranger strats, and he does call here. I bet pretty small, quarter pot here. I'm gonna bet high frequency here for sure. He does call, goes check here, and on the river. But yeah, I can consider betting here actually. It would probably not be that bad to value bet again, being heads up. So I can consider a bet. Here on the river though, I do decide to value bet. I am pretty high up in my range still. It's kind of scary, but not that scary, this kind of river card. And I think most of my value range will want to bet 1/3. So that's what I do. And the main interesting point here about this hand is like he calls and shows pocket jacks, which I thought was interesting. That he did flat that pre-flop against my big 3-bet. He probably thought he has to flat some strong hands against that big sizing, which is correct, but this hand selection kind of shows me maybe his pre-flop understanding is not too strong. I think he would rather, and from the pre-flop sims I've ran and checking this stuff out, he should rather like trap something like aces rather than jacks, which is still very vulnerable against overcards. He should not trap this kind of like strong but vulnerable hand. So this showed me, again, this shows why maybe it's good that I was doing this adjustment and different game plans, just like to build up my heads up strat. And the second hand, we have some 5-10 here. I was playing on apps. Someone dared to challenge me here, and we are pretty deep at this point. We're playing for a while. I thought he was like a fish reg, more like, I think more like towards a fish maybe. So definitely did not have any issue playing him. I make it my 14 BB here, 3-bet, he calls, perfect flop, and I do c-bet half pot. This is my usual sizing here on this texture. And I'm obviously playing a mixed, not obviously, but I'm playing a mixed strategy. And what I like about this sizing against a weaker player is also I make him fast play when he has my something like queen 9, maybe 10s, maybe jacks, maybe king jack. So when he has like some other hands, that maybe I can cooler him faster. So that's why another reason, exploitative reason, I like this sizing. And an interesting turn card,
At this point, I still want to get the stacks in because we're so deep. Um, so I have a few options. I can play like GTO or whatever, and my sizing here would be like 1/3. I'm not like 100% this is correct, but I think yeah, like 1/3 does make sense here as a battle sizing. However, I have the super nuts, and I want to mainly cooler him when he has a queen. I think it's gonna be harder to cooler him if I bet 1/3 here. So I make it an interesting sizing. I make like 14 to 56. This way, he obviously continues when he has a queen, and I also build up the pot for a river shove, but I give him a tough spot with two pair type of hands or maybe a set where I still keep him in if he has that type of hand. And also I'm not that scared about that many rivers since I do have also I hold the ace of clubs and he calls perfect river. And I do shove here for all the money in the world, and I remember he tanked a bit. He did call with king queen, a nice spot for us. And now we're gonna jump into some live play stuff. Just me fucking around a bit when I was playing some heads up zoom. So I hope you enjoy that as well. Oh, okay. We have a nice hand here, and yeah, actually, when you have a nice hand, probably it's fine just to go all in. I'm all in. Wait, I have a straight. Yeah, I have a straight. I have a very good straight. Boom, we got a call. Nice spot, ship it. Thank you, Anal Natasha. Okay, we're gonna play a 6 strat where we just hit the river. See, this is how we do. Just making this in back in real money, and yeah, that's just basically how you play. You are very welcome. And then you just like let them go all in, and you click call. Then you just like take the pot.
A lot of people have asked me how was it to transition from six max to heads up, because of course there's a lot of regs that play six max. They're thinking about heads up. They're thinking, should they play heads up? How was it? Is it similar? And to that I would say it's not that similar because of the wide ranges, and especially in 3-bet pots it's gonna play pretty differently. But also just the ranges being so wide, I would say it's actually pretty different, and it's hard to translate your six max skills that much to heads up. Something else I would say about this would be that in heads up I feel it's so much more about precision because your ranges are so wide, so it's so important to drill down the combos and know specifically what you're barreling, what your combos are. It's so easy to have out of control frequencies everywhere if you're not gonna be careful. I think that's, I guess, six max to heads up. That's one of the first things I learned. It's easy to like miss like my frequencies because all the time I have so many bluffs to choose from. Um, so I think that's one thing. Another big one was getting adjusted to the value and like the thin value bets, the thin bluff catching. So the everything gets thinner for value, for like bluffing, and like everywhere, every spot. You have to bluff catch a lot thinner. You have to like value bet thinner than in six max because the ranges are wider. So you can also go wider with value betting and bluff catching as well. Another question I got is if I feel heads up improved my overall game, my overall understanding of poker. Actually, I don't know if I got that question, but it's something I did think about. So I'm gonna get into it because I think like the main thing I got from it was hand selection and kind of like perceiving my whole range and actually picking hands. I feel like my randomizing my frequencies are way more in control now. Playing six max and just like in poker in general, it heightened my awareness there. I really feel it helped me a lot there actually. And another thing is with sizings because in heads up the ranges are wider. You have more lumps of hands that want to choose a certain sizing. So I feel I did understand how to choose sizings better as well. All this stuff definitely translates to six max a lot as well. Okay, so now it's all said and done. I was nerding it out in the lab for a long time. I battled some Zoom heads up. I even played Dog for a bit. And I was thinking, like, what am I gonna do with this heads up skill set I built here? Am I gonna be a heads up rig now? Am I like, how do I balance it out with six max? And I realized this is how I realized, by the way, also the skill gap between someone who constantly plays heads up and someone who kind of sometimes plays. I realized I cannot compete. I cannot battle regs in heads up that they are playing heads up all the time, and I'm like sometimes getting into it. This is where I learned the value of you have to practice a lot because I was getting very rusty at six max. And I realized you cannot be good at a variant if you're not constantly practicing it. So I'm not gonna constantly practice heads up. The games are not that good. I decided it was not worth it for me to make this transition from six max to heads up, and instead I just have like a good skill set for a six max reg. Again, if I would think if I play a heads up reg in heads up, like a high stakes, if I play a high stakes reg in heads up, I would still assume I'm gonna do pretty bad, at least with this much preparation. Another big lesson I got was the value of constant practice and having experience playing in this certain format. I'm not gonna like like all of a sudden, yeah, I can understand heads up, but just playing because you have like short time banks and stuff, experience comes into play a lot, and just practicing the format you're gonna play, it's huge for like how good you're gonna be. Because again, like I went back into six max, it was way harder. Um, so I decided my path with heads up. Yeah, I'm gonna be a heads up bomb hunter. Maybe I jump in the heads up zoom pool sometimes, but because there's not that many good games there, I'm not gonna like actively get better and better with the price of getting weaker at six max. So going forward, my approach will be to like still mainly play six max. Still, this is where my skill set is, where my love is, where my experience is, and sometimes dabble into some heads up. Someone wants to battle me, come at me, bro. Overall, I would say like now I'm way more confident. I realized how bad I was before in heads up, and the question would be playing dog a bit with how I worked on my game would be does Daniel Negreanu, not this Daniel, um, does he have a chance against Doug Polk? I would say no. Even like no matter how much he plays, no matter how much he studies in this short amount of time, Doug still has been at the top for so many years. And yeah, maybe he doesn't have the most GTO Pio gameplay, but it's gonna be hard to match those years of practice and study from Doug in like 1 2 months of Daniel Negreanu. No hate on Dinex, but I don't think he's that good of a poker player. It's not like he's like a Linus that will make the transition. No, I would assume he's not that good at poker, so it's not like he's gonna make this smooth transition. Uh, so, but yeah, I would guess Daniel's gonna get destroyed. That's my prediction. Um, this was my heads up journey. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'm gonna see you soon. Maybe going to Mexico soon. Actually, thinking to make some vlogs from there, and maybe do some daily vlogs. Maybe do some Mexico adventures. Gonna go there with MMA, so could be fun. Could be fun. If you guys liked this journey I've been on, and if you learn stuff, definitely subscribe. It's weird some people like watching me are not subscribed to my channel, but okay. And like this video, it helps keep me motivated, helps the algorithm, people see this easier, helps my channel grow. So I really appreciate it. Shout out to all my Discord crew, shout out to like all the guys, to all my friends I talked heads up with, and shout out to you for watching. This has been Daniel, show of force, wrapping up. It's getting a bit cold, enjoying life, wrapping Poker Stars actually today. This is sponsored by Stars, no, just kidding. Okay, peace.